with time, and I know you are a very busy man. But for the sake of our listeners, I want you to introduce yourself briefly so that they know exactly who I am talking to.
Okay, Mr. Harmon. My name is David Tamakloe. I am the editor of the WhatsApp newspaper.
Okay.
WhatsApp newspaper is a virtual newspaper in Ghana and beyond. What we try to do is to also contribute our quota to the media work by scrutinizing things that need to be scrutinized on behalf of the people, informing about what the powers they have given to government are being used for, and also bring to bear some of the challenges we have in our communities, in our societies, for all of us to address.
Okay, that is very, very good, and you are doing a good work. Listeners, times we pick stories from the WhatsApp News Ghana. Okay, so you know, one of the sources of our stories that we look at. Okay, now let's come to this story that you've got some information about that you want to share with our listeners. Now, first of all, can you talk about this deep water tunnel Cape 3 Points project, the WTC, DWT and CTP project? Because some people are not actually sure what has happened there. How has that project? I mean, how a brief background to that.
Well, I understand. I understand you. I think that many are as confused as all of us can be about this whole deal of Aker Energy. You know, people would mention AGM and all that. The truth is that there are two blocks. There are two wells that are looking at here.
Okay, listeners, just bear with us because of connectivity issue, and Mr. Tamakloe is also on the move as well, so we'll be suffering a bit of that, but just bear with me whilst we get him on. Mr. Tamakloe, are you there? Okay, so he was giving us a bit of a background to this Aker deal and the two wells. Okay, the offshore well. Yes, go on. Yeah, I can hear you now. Go on, sir.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Tamakloe, I can hear you. Go on.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. I can hear you. Please go on. Hello, Mr. Tamakloe. Yeah, so, go on.
So these are the subject matter of the agreement that we are talking about.
Okay. Now, so what makes this agreement a worrying one? Why are you worried about it?
You are disconnected, or I am disconnected, kind of.
Okay, I can hear you loud and clear. Let me see. Can you hear me now?
I'm only hearing myself.
You're only hearing yourself. Okay. Just bear with us. Let's see. Listeners, Mr. Tamakloe, all the way from Ghana. He is the chief editor of the WhatsApp News Ghana. We have him on as a guest this morning, trying to throw a bit of light on the Aker deal that is going on in Ghana, where they're trying to somehow wrap into some other companies or push them in together. But as whether the country is going to have a good deal out of it is a question that we want to know. I know most of you don't know much about this story, but it is information coming through shows that well that has been discovered, that is there, is, I think, one of the largest on the African continent. Okay, now let's go to Mr. Tamakloe and let's see whether he can hear us now. Mr. Tamakloe.
You know.
Yes, good. All right then. Yeah, so talk about this Aker Energy and why this deal, and why you think that it's nothing that nothing good to be written home about it. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes.
Could you please repeat that question?
Okay, I was just asking about this deal, this Aker Energy, the deal, and what has happened in the past, and why you think that is something that Ghanaians have to know about it.
Okay, so basically, there was this agreement between the Ghana government through Gnpc and other stakeholders originated in 2013, 2014 thereabout. As you can see, the agreement has to do with exploration of this to bring some oil revenue to Ghana. Interestingly, when this agreement was first signed, there arose a dispute between the Ghana government and Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
The areas where these blocks are. Where, if you recall, there was a dispute between Ghana and Ivory Coast over ownership of the land.
Yeah, remember
and,
that.
This matter was taken to arbitration and later decided in favor of Ghana.
Yeah.
After the judgment on the matter, the government, before the judgment, this agreement was existing. Once the arbitration was in progress, there was a need to suspend any exploratory work until the determination of the matter.
Yeah.
So that was done, and subsequently, after judgment was delivered, they proceeded to reactivate the agreement, and it became necessary that they unitize the two blocks.
Yeah.
Because one of the blocks was being held Hayes, a company called Hayes.
Yeah.
Whilst the other was being held by AGM as majority holders, respectively. So there was a need. So Aker Energy bought from Hayes, and another company, the mother company of Aker Energy, also bought from AGM.
Okay.
So Aker Energy therefore became the majority shareholder.
In both.
Therefore, there was a need to unitize the blocks to help to enable them reduce the cost of exploration.
Okay.
Now that was done, it appears that in 2018, the determination of the dispute was in 2017 thereabout. In 2018, the finance minister and the energy ministry decided that they would review the agreement, the original agreement. In the original agreement, we had on behalf of Ghana the Gnpc and a company they formed around the time of this agreement called Exploco, Gnpc Exploco. The Exploco was supposed to be the technical side of Gnpc, which would be advertised on exploratory work. So Exploco had some in the block, as Gnpc also had. Then it turned out that in the review of the agreement, Gnpc and Exploco's interest were reduced. Exploco's interest, which was 24%, were all ceded. They were all taken, given away to Aker and other interests, which was one bone of contention for those who criticized the deal. That it was a good opportunity for Ghana to have some interest in its own oil by not only getting revenue from taxes and small dividend on behalf of Gnpc, but to own a majority of the oil.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing for the critics, for what the critics say.
Okay,
So
Mr. Tamakloe, just a minute. Just a minute there. Now, what
that we are back to the square one, the old way of doing things. So that was one bone of contention. Then, aside huge tax concessions were given Aker Energy, which acquired the interest.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there was a local content participation, which before the new at 2.5, there had been increased. When the matter went to Parliament, Parliament was not told who the local interest was going to. It was a company called Quad Energy, which was formed just 90 days to the review of the agreement. It's called Quad Energy, and Quad Energy has no expertise in oil exploration. So if I should just make it simple, it's like you have a company and you are selling an interest, a company which need money to do. The owners of the company need to be financially sound to make contribution to the development of the company to reach that level where you can all make some revenue from.
Yeah.
Then about 5% was cut off and given to a company which is not known in the oil industry, which has no financial background, and therefore nothing on board. Meanwhile, our own Gnpc, which was for the people, had given away a huge chunk of its interest, for nothing, almost for nothing, because all they paid for it was 130 million.
Wow.
Now, moving on from there, the new agreement was brought to bear. I mean, the issue about Quad Energy is quite a lot, but we can discuss that later since for the want of time. So we moved on from there. The new agreement came into existence, and boom, we have Gnpc, or maybe let's say government of Ghana, put a request before Parliament.
Okay, David, please. Hello, just hold on for a minute. Let me ask you this question, then we go on. Now, what was their reason for truncating the first agreement? What reason did they give to truncate that, to stop that agreement?
Well, they said that one of the reasons they cited was that the industry has changed, so there was a need to review the agreement. Second was that because of economic situations around the group, there was a need to revalue the field and see how much exactly it is worth. Also, the fact that the unitization has been, it means that they had to look at the cost benefit and all that. There was also a description of how the Gnpc would be exposed to financial risk under the old agreement, which still baffles a lot of people, because then it was an interest that you have acquired almost for free, except for the commercial responsibilities you have. There was really nothing you should have been worried about. And of course, for the reasons cited for giving those, putting up Explorco and also giving such interest to Gnpc as it had in the earlier agreement, I think it was prudent that we even if necessary, we look for money to support the exploratory work as part of our contribution. Gnpc could have raised that money commercially and therefore owned all those interests, which would have inured to the benefit of the country. Again, there was no reason, really, no good explanation for why taxes, more tax concessions were given in the deal.
Yeah.
Now, if you listen to those who are now saying that the need for the agreement, where Gnpc is now seeking to buy the interest, they are saying that if Gnpc buy the interest, it will mean that Ghana will not Ghana would have a higher stake in the dividends. They have given so much concession that it appears throughout the period of the development and the exploratory work that Ghana is not going to benefit any tax from the project. Not a single tax will be procured from the deal. So there is a need now to have something from the dividend instead, and that is one of the reasons Gnpc and government are citing for asking to buy the interest back. So that's why did you give it away in the first place? And the answer was that Gnpc didn't have the financial backbone to contribute to the exploratory work. And
but couldn't they have gone to international finance organizations to raise money to do that?
Exactly. I mean, the same thing we are doing now could have been done then. So, and of course, they could have even negotiated with the other parties to perhaps, give them a softer loan.
Yeah. Because
Lukoil had a license interest, which means that they could also contribute financially or even loan commercially to the project. So they could have gone that. Imagine the problem. It is just the agreement to have that money. So, and which is more supreme to ceding your interest, because your interest mean that when you have maybe 200 million profit, you are going to have your share of the interest as your share in the dividend. So when you give it away, it means you are not going to have that dividend. And now you go and rather cutting down, giving tax concessions, which you are entitled to. You are giving it away for no reason.
Okay, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. We have Mr. David Tamakloe, who is the chief editor of the WhatsApp News in Ghana, who's joined us today to throw a bit of light on this Aker energy, and this Cape 3 Point, drill and exploration thing that is going on. That is so confusing. People are looking at what the country is losing. I mean, if we could loan to do it, why didn't we? And why are we now going in to go and loan more than 1.4 billion? For what? Something that we could have had initially free. Okay, now because of time and our connectivity issue, we'll go back to David, and then let me ask you, what is the stake now? So what is Ghana going to get if we are able to raise that money that Gnpc wants to go into Parliament for approval?
Update you with some other challenges people have with the deal.
Okay, go on.
One other challenge was, you recall I mentioned Quad Energy.
Mm-hmm.
So Quad Energy became the guy who owns Quad Energy, very close to the finance minister. I'm the board member of Aker.
Wow.
And therefore, what it means is that by what ground he became the board member of Aker was not known. So he left the company in 19 days and got 5% shares for it. And then he owns this company with his nephew, who was cited in the PDS deal.
Mm-hmm.
So this same guy was working with Data Bank. Now we have this guy who is now a board member of Aker Energy. Then they now went and picked another lady who works in the office of the vice president. Works in the office of the vice president as the CEO of Aker. Now you recall that the vice president is the head of the economic management team.
Yeah.
Now, Aker has come that we want to sell part of our interest. And if you have a company like Aker coming to say we want to sell part of an interest, it means they are not very motivated about the field anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And there are obvious reasons why they may not be motivated. So, I mean, we can go into that later. But now, when they are not interested, instead of government looking for another potential person or company who can come with some money, because the country doesn't have enough money,
mm-hmm.
they are now coming to the sovereign sovereign coffers of the country and say, look, we want 1.65 billion to procure 37% interest in the same block that we have seeded. The same interest we have seeded, we now want 37% interest back in it. Now, people are asking, if you sold at 130 million, and you are now going back for 37% at 1.7, there may be some fishy deal going. Yes, is that the Aker Energy, which has 50% interest, has declared somewhere to the international community that its interest in Aker, which is 50%,
mm-hmm.
is valued just around 230 million.
Oh, wow. And they say they want what, 1 point something billion?
If a 50% interest is valued at 230, then obviously you cannot tell us that 2% of the same interest would be 1 point something billion.
Wow.
Do you get the deal?
Yeah, that is a proper dodgy one. Gee.
So then when it gets to that, you start connecting the dots. You see the vice president, who is the head of the economic management team, quiet, and his representative, a lady who was in charge of business development in his office, has now become the director or the CEO of Aker Energy in Ghana. One of the finance minister's right-hand person is on Aker Energy board, and he got 5% sweetheart interest for free. He didn't pay a dime, not a dime for the 5%, and nobody is asking about it. But how much did he pay for the 5%? Is it a carried interest? Is it a commercial interest? Nobody is saying it. It cannot be a carried interest because this company did not exist at the time of the first agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So that you will say, oh, maybe he has some personal dealing with Aker, so he got the 5% from there as an agency contribution, that someone is going to pay for that. That is not the situation. The company was from 19 days to the agreement, the new agreement. Now it cannot be a commercial interest because nobody how much. I mean, nobody. He has not contributed a penny to acquire the 5% interest. We are paying, as a country, we are going to pay over 1 billion for 30%. So we should be worried how much, or we should be concerned how much he brings on board for the 5%, because at the end of the day, if every member of the company is making a contribution to develop the field,
mm-hmm.
he must also make a contribution.
Yeah.
So there's a need to do some due diligence on this person.
But just a minute, is it the expertise that this individual is putting across that is valid for that 5%, or what? What exactly is that?
And I can tell you, I have checked the background. He has no expertise whatsoever. It is just his name and his connection to the people.
Wow. Listeners, it is Star Radio UK.
So back to
yes, David. Just hold on. We haven't David. we're having David all the way from Ghana. Bear with us with the connectivity issue because connectivity from Ghana is a bit difficult. But he's throwing some more light or educating us about what is happening when it comes to that energy deal, that Aker one, and that dodgy stuff that is going on. Looks like the same template for the PDS that seems to be going on here. But well, let's go back to David, and David, continue.
The same template for the PDS, the same template for and many others we know. So this person on Quad Energy, the Quad Energy thing is of greater concern to me because once we are able to establish how much the 5% of this person is valued at, we can tell how much our 37% should cost. I hope you understand.
I get you. So
now, back to what you read to your followers earlier regarding Luke Oil.
Yeah.
Luke Oil and Fuel Trade have from the onset been partners in the what's the name, DWT CTP oil.
Yeah.
Block. And so there is an alarm that throughout this request to procure a 37% by Gnpc, throughout this a proposal by Aker Energy to sell some of its interest, they have not been contacted, even though they are members of the joint venture. And that, in the fair way of doing things, they ought to be approached. Their concern ought to be sorted so that they would. I mean, and it is even good for Ghana so that we can have value for money. So they said they have not been contacted. I have done a bit of work on Luke Oil.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll make that known later.
Okay.
But the concern they are raising is germane. They are saying that we are part of this joint venture, and you are one of us want to sell an interest. We have not been told. We don't know. Another person wants to buy. We don't know about it. And they are saying that it is important they know, because who becomes the partner will determine how quick the development will be done.
Yeah.
How smooth it will be. So they need to know, for instance, that the operator, once Aker sells an interest, Ghana becomes a majority shareholder, which means that the operator may change. We need to know who the next operator is going to be, so that we will know that we are not being shortchanged. So that if Ghana fails to comply with what Luke Oil is asking for now, you know what it could be: a judgment, another
judgment debt coming
over the oil, which means that it is going to delay the development of that field. Delay in the development of that field means that less money, less revenue for Ghana and other partners in the joint venture. Now look the response given by the ministry. The ministry is now saying that don't worry, you don't have anything to fear. That Gnpc is liquid enough to shoulder the 1.65 billion, and you wouldn't have any problem to do with the contribution to the development of the field. The question is, if Gnpc is liquid enough, why are they going to Parliament when it could have gone to look for commercial fund to do this? So there's a lot of confusion around here now, and it's looking like there's a box of money somewhere that people are struggling, fighting each other to go for.
I think this looks like this is a Japan deal that was going to take place, or whether it's going. I don't know exactly what is going on, and like the botched PDS deal as well.
I think that, except that the Japan deal has been suspended or cancelled for now, then I think that is the only reason. I mean, this may be better than the Japan deal, but it is worse. It is worse than the Japan deal. You are throwing 5%. Can you imagine throwing 5% interest in a block that is valued over billions of cedis?
Wow.
We are throwing 5% to someone. I mean, we don't know him. He's just a friend of the finance minister. To agree that he's taking 5%, he's not paying a dime for it.
Okay, so now, because of time, let's look up. So, what can the opposition? Because I can see that the opposition are raising their voices and telling them they have to go back to renegotiate and everything to make sure that the country gets a good deal out of this. With Gnpc saying that, well, we have got the funds to actually finance this, or we have got a connection to finance it by ourselves. What do you think the opposition can do so that Ghana can have a good deal?
Well, in the first place, let's say that the agreement has not been signed yet.
Okay.
The proposal by Gnpc to buy this 37% and 70% in the respectively in the two fields has not been granted by Parliament yet.
Okay.
That is certain. Of course, there's also suspicions that government will want to bulldoze its way to have that agreement pass the way it stands now. But it is important for the people to understand what is happening. It is important for parliamentarians, not only on the minority side, but every parliamentarian who think about the future of this country, to put their foot down and scrutinize the agreement very well. I can say with every authority in me that in any sound country, we already have candidates in this deal, this review agreement, for causing financial loss to the state. Because I believe that the review of the agreement itself was procured on misinformed position. So there are already candidates. If we live in a country that things work right, there are already candidates there who must be prosecuted for causing financial loss to the state. But I mean, the status of the thing now, we need to talk about it. We need to put our foot down and ensure that we have value for money, because already we do not have money. You saw how government was jumping at the 1 billion special drawing rights, offered by IMF recently. It tells you that government doesn't have money. Salaries are being delayed. Our roads cannot continue to develop because government is not paying contractors. Free SHS is at the nil level now. Everyone is concerned. They are asking parents to contribute. School children cannot have 3 square meals a day in their schools without any struggle these days. Our hospitals need to be built. Government has recently announced a 1-1-1 hospital project, agenda. Yeah. It needs money, so we cannot throw good money away. So we need to actually critique this thing to come up with the best situation for the country. And let's not forget that as we are here disputing over this, as we are getting worried, we are fighting over this, the world is moving very fast away from man. Yeah. People are getting away from fossil fuel. So we need to have that in mind, and that comes to be the lesser value would our oil.
Okay. Now, I'll be having some discussions later on the program because Chachuchi Kata, whilst he was the head of Gnpc, invested 230 million. And because of that investment, he had to go to prison for it. They say it's caused financial loss. So if somebody cedes the take of the country, sells it for what, 150 million, and now has to go and pay 1.6 billion for it. I mean, hello, where are we? Do we have our heads screwed on? So if you're listening to us, we wanted to bring your take on this issue. We know that because Mr. David Tamakloe's time is, we know with the connectivity and everything, so we'll try to run up the conversation. But I think we'll be bringing him on maybe sometime next week, because there is something fishy that seems to be going on. Who are these ones who have got interest? Who gave 5% to somebody? Is it because of their expertise? We find out that the person has not got any expertise per se in that field. So how come the person came by that 5%? Has the person paid some money to the Gnpc that we don't know? We need to know more about this. But let me come to you, David. Yeah.
My brother, for the want of a good investigation, let me just tell you so that maybe you can also start checking the person's background. I have engaged the person. I've engaged some people in this thing, and this person I'm talking about, who the directors of Quad Energy, have David Adumakuma, and Babantude Ampa. So you can check these two backgrounds. I've already told you they are it's an uncle and nephew matter.
Yeah.
I've also told you that one of the directors work at Data Bank. That same person was with the PDS deal, and is very, very close to the finance minister. He's on a few boards as well. And I'm saying that they brought nothing on board. I can provide you with a record of the registration of the company.
Yes.
So, and I can tell you that they have no expertise in the industry. And that they did not pay anything for the
okay. Yes, listeners, just bear with us. Let's bear with us with the connectivity issue that's going on. But David is trying to bring us, put some details across to us. I know you listening to us. You want to have the full story and have, facts, not just anything that somebody just rambling on, but giving you facts so that you can also make your own deductions or judgment from what we are saying. Over to you, David.
Yeah. So I'm saying that, you see, Gnpc may have intended well by wanting to buy the 37% back on the WTCTP block and the 70% on the SWT block. They may have meant well, but we need to be sure that whatever they are doing is value for money. As it stands now, we cannot expect 50% is equal to 230 million. And 37% is equal to 106 billion. 106 billion. You cannot explain that.
Maybe I think the oil in particular one well is more than what is in the other well. Maybe that's what I can say. That would be the only explanation for that, you know.
It's the same block. It's the same block. They cannot explain it. They need to explain that to us to understand that 50% of anything is less than 37% of it. So,
of course.
To a magnitude of, the difference is about $900 and something million.
Well, maybe another arithmetic again. Remember when we went for the elections and there was this tabulation. I don't know whether should I call it mathematics or arithmetic moves, some dodgy arithmetics where you can say 37% is more than 50-something%. Or I cannot. But we're going to bring our conversation with Mr. David Tamakloe to an end because we need to move on to the other segment of the program. So, David, what should Ghanaians do now?
Well, to put it simple, we need to be on our knees and pray that the good Lord himself, hears us and change the minds of these people who want to. That is one. Secondly, we should all open our eyes and know that any cent that is paid is being paid on our behalf and will make our future as a country. And so we must all get involved Getting involved does not necessarily mean you become a politician, that you belong to NDC or MPP. Getting involved is to help the people who you have empowered to think properly. Helping them to understand that what they are doing may not be in the interest of the nation. We have seen it countless times where things that the whole nation rose and spoke about somehow got better. It would have been had we all kept quiet.
Yeah.
So it is important that we all speak about this issue. It is important that our parliamentarians, who are our representatives, also voice out and do the right thing. They should not, because this still has the tendency of muting people's mouth, getting them to look the other way from the reality. So they need to be on the side of the people. And of the very appointees who are in charge of taking decisions must know that they are doing it for the people, and it must be in their interest.
Yeah.
And that one day, even if no one asks them, in their quiet they will ask themselves if it was the right thing they have done or not. And they must be proud of themselves for every decision they take. For us, the journalists, it is our responsibility to keep the gate, to watch the gate, and bring this thing to the attention of the people.
Okay. Listeners, we've had Mr. David Tamakloe, who is the editor-in-chief of the WhatsApp News Ghana, who has joined us this morning to throw more light or give us insight into this deal that has gone on. What percentage is that? What kind of arithmetic is that? Are we trying to confuse the people so that we can just get pull a quick one over their eyes, or pull a quick one over their eyes, or what? What exactly is going on? Are our appointees actually thinking or having our interests at heart? Now we know that, like I said, we are moving from to fossil fuel, where it's going to get to a point where we might not even necessarily get that value for those wells there. Then what have we done to ourselves? And that's where I come to agree with the politicians, the leaders, when they come to say that I said, it is true. What they were saying is true. We are sitting on money, yet we are hungry, because they know that we are not using our heads, and somehow people are trying to siphon that money. But as whether what we've discussed today makes sense to you or not, we want you to think, and as David has said, think through it, and let's make our voices heard, so that you will know that whatever we are getting is value for money. David, before you go, sir.
My brother, I think that I've said enough. I'll continue at any time I have time to join in, and also, reveal some of these things that we know to you.
Yes. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming as well. Okay, have a lovely day. We'll catch up later.
Same to you.
Right then. Right. Bye. Well, listeners, this is I don't know what to say. I want to cry. I want to scream. I'm not sure what I really want to do, honestly, because I believe that when we appoint leaders, we appoint them to have the interests of the state or the people at heart. But when we have our leaders going to some negotiations, you ask yourself, hello, did this person actually sleep on a pillow? Maybe he slept on the stone. Even we had Jacob sleeping on the stone, and he had a very good revelation that led the people of Israel to wherever they are now. But what are our leaders actually doing to us? What kind of percentage